Speaker, I rise to give a short and brief contribution to the Crimes Legislation Amendment, Organised and Gang-Related Crime Reforms Bill, and to give my support for this piece of legislation. Today in New South Wales Parliament, we are taking action to stop young offenders being recruited for crimes like we are seeing across New South Wales and has been reported widely in the media. In Pittwater, we have had experiences, recently an escalation of those experiences, where teenagers and children as young as 12 and 13 are being arrested for crimes particularly around home invasions and the stealing of cars. And whilst it's not reported as to the origin of those crimes and the extent to which adults are involved in potentially recruiting children or young offenders to do this, we know that it is a problem being faced across New South Wales and was reported by the ABC late last year, how encrypted services and the dark web are being used to recruit young offenders to do adult crimes. I know, even from having spoken to people who came in to visit me in Parliament from the Terry Hills Progress Association, there was a child that asked me, what are we going to do in this place in order to make our neighbourhoods more safe? And he was speaking directly in regards to an incident in Terry Hills where people were subject to a home invasion with the use of a machete that involved young offenders. And today we are taking action to address that kind of behaviour. And to address these types of crimes. I also want to acknowledge that it's not just in Terry Hills, not just in Pittwater, but across the northern beaches where we've seen a spike in the types of crimes that we're discussing today, particularly where there have been organised syndicates around cars and home invasions. And a child, I think it was in 2012, a child as young as 13 went on a crime spree in the northern beaches as I've mentioned, the media hasn't reported with a lot of these as to whether there were adults involved in that recruitment, but we've also seen separately reports that there are big syndicates undertaking the recruitment of children for this. As we know, children are vulnerable and the recruitment of them is absolutely heinous, so I definitely support the legislation before us today. I also wanted to mention more broadly the use of the dark web, encrypted services and technology in general, and how we may be behind in regards to crimes involving those services. And I did want to mention, although it is, again, it is unclear as to whether adults are behind this type of criminal behaviour, that children in my electorate are subject to what I would say is extortion, the use of WhatsApp and Snapchat being used to entice children to meet, and then being told that they'll be subject to either having something stolen if they don't hand over money. So definitely all these types of services are contributing to crime. The final thing I'll mention is obviously the issue that plagues across New South Wales is the sale of illegal vapes and illicit tobacco on our high streets across New South Wales, across the northern beaches, and the incredible work that has been done in this place to pass legislation to put an end to that. And legislation like we've got before us today will start to address those gangs that are behind the organised crime running some of those operations. And I commend the bill to the House.